Daily Q, back up in this. I got a brand new camera, so I look a little bit better than I usually do. And also, we probably won't have to worry about the camera randomly shutting off. Maybe. See, I can do stuff like that too, though. Isn't that cool? It like tracks my head. Yeah, you're doing cool stuff. Anyways, welcome to the Daily Q. This is our somewhat daily show when I hop on here and talk about news, motivational stuff to get you going, stuff that'll make you want to live your best life as an artist or make you want to quit. Kind of mixed in with news as well. It's a whole thing. And we're going to get right into it because usually we don't do intros, but I figured I would reintroduce myself. Like Hove. Yeah. Today we're talking about Trump because that's the hot topic of the day. If you guys haven't heard, man's got raided. FBI pulled up on his crib, busted open his safe, took some valuable documents. Essentially, the documents that were taken were documents that were things that he took from the White House, that like classified confidential documents that basically he was totally not supposed to take, but he did. So that's what he's dealing with. But it had me thinking this morning because I was trying to decide what I wanted to talk about today. I was like, what's the topic of the day? You know, Trump is popping right now, so I figured let's talk about that. I'm not really like a super political dude. I guess I kind of am, but I figure I'd make this kind of funny. And I was thinking about what would happen if Trump were to drop a rap album, because based off of the stereotypical stuff that is hip hop, getting raided by the FBI is top tier rap stuff, basically, right? Like rappers rap about that all the time. Doesn't J. Cole have a song called Neighbors? Isn't Neighbors about him getting raided by the FBI? Like, it's a thing. And if you were to sit here and add up all the rap related points that Trump has, he's kind of more credible than a lot of the rappers out there, you know what I'm saying? And what's funny about that is, like, if Mans were to drop an album right now, if Dude were to drop Trump Life Volume 1, it would go platinum. He would be a platinum selling artist, because it's not even because of the fact that he'd be on there spitting like Jay-Z. No, it'd be because of the amount of hype and the amount of interest and the amount of societal volatility that surrounds this man. And for me, these are the things that I talk about when I do artist development and I do like marketing and all that stuff. These are the things that I talk about with other people, in the sense that it's not even about the music anymore, man. It's just about being buzzing. It's about being around. It's about always being in the mix, always being in the news. It kind of sucks. Like, we really are in the middle of what I like to call content culture, where it's not even about the content. It's just about having a lot of it, right? If the content's good, then, it helps. But from what I gather, I feel like the content being good is secondary. It's almost like when you post a video, it's not even really about pushing that video anymore. Like, I'm talking like a reel or a TikTok. It's about preparing for the next TikTok. And I blame Gary Vee, honestly. If I were to blame anybody, it'd be Gary Vee, among others. But Gary Vee straight up told y'all, he was like, hey, you all need to drop 100 pieces of content a day. However you need to do that, if you want to be like me, rich and famous. And it's like, all right, well, cool. That's a lot, though. What I'm saying. But what ends up happening, like, especially when you throw in TikToks and Reels and all this stuff, we've now become slaves to content creation, right? We've now become slaves to the idea that we have to constantly make content. Hell, I'm making a podcast right now, live, for you guys to listen to, that I'm probably going to chop up into a couple TikToks and stuff for the sake of being able to have enough content for this week, right? It's really, really, really stressful for artists nowadays to worry about how much content you have to make. So you're probably wondering, well, what does this have to do with Donald Trump, Jaron? Well, when it comes to content creation, right, Donald Trump's killing it. He's constantly in the news. Man's currently dodging 2 cases right now, right? So is Young Thug, but if Donald Trump were to drop an album, he outsell Young Thug because it's the interest level, right? And so I guess the metaphor I'm really trying to draw here when it comes to branding and just artistry and trying to like do your business or whatever you're really trying to do, branding is extremely important. I was watching the video last night that talked about how YouTube, like how to basically like maximize your viewers on YouTube. Like basically like what would one do to make sure that all the viewers that you want are watching your videos. And what the video basically told me, which I thought was really interesting, was basically, yeah, yo, you should take, transparent photos, PNG photos of famous people and make videos about famous people. And at first I was like, it's kind of lame. I don't like that. But then I really thought about it. I was like, what is man's trying to say? And basically what his whole logic was is like, you know, if you do a piece on Elon Musk and you put Elon Musk in the thumbnail, people are going to see Elon Musk and associate whatever feelings they have with Elon Musk with that video. And as you know, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. So a lot of people will click on that video solely because of the fact that this man has a lot of money. And it's that brand synergy thing, right? If you are a, I don't know, like a real estate agent or you're an investor or all that, you're going to be more likely to click on the Elon Musk video more than you are like one of my videos, right? Because Elon Musk is associated with money. And I thought about that. I was like, man, that's actually pretty good. Because basically the example that guy was giving, he was like, yeah, you know, Elon Musk, you could put Morgan Freeman in your thumbnails. And if you want like a motivational video, you could do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, man, that's actually pretty genius. Because when you think about it, it's basically what I was just talking about. It's not even about the content itself nowadays. It's about getting those clicks, right? It's about making people want to stop their dopamine hits run on your video. And people are getting more and more desperate at that. We see crazy videos all the time. And I think that one of the things that drive me the craziest on Facebook, because I always fall for it, are the videos that are like 13, 14 minutes long of someone doing something to somebody else. And the whole time they're just lagging, right? Like, for example, like they're about to, I don't know, it'll be like a girl in a balloon suit or something. I don't know. I can't really think of a good example. But the guy will be maybe sitting there about to pop the balloon and he keeps talking and he keeps stalling and it's a live video and people are like, oh, pop it. And he won't pop it for fucking, I don't know, 15 minutes. And then even at the very end, they might not even pop it. But it's that anticipation, right? That's why those videos work so well. That's why those videos have hundreds and millions of views, because it's the anticipation. There's psychological hacks that are designed to get you to listen to or watch the video. So going back to the Trump analogy, man's used the internet back in 2016 with whatever with the Russians, not necessarily Trump, but the Russians used social media to go and basically manipulate social media psychologically to make us feel a certain type of way so we would vote in a certain direction, right? A part of that plan is visibility. Constantly being in the media, constantly hearing your name, constantly doing these things. And a lot of artists on my level or lower or somewhat higher are not very good at this. Being active all the time on social media is freaking exhausting. Doing all this stuff on a regular basis is freaking exhausting. But what you have to understand is you doing all that is way more important, at least initially, than the music itself. Now, I've always been a fan of the idea that if your music is good, it will always be heard or it will reach the right people. This is becoming less and less of the case. And the reason why I feel this way is because the bar for creation is so low now. And this is thanks to TikTok, this is thanks to Instagram and social media. But the bar to create is very, very low. And so it's not about necessarily the perfection of your art. You're not Leonardo da Vinci. It's about putting the art out there for it to be received and consumed. And if you're a good enough artist, you can always make more art. And literally, this is basically what Doja Cat did when she dropped that Moo video. That video is not like a very high quality video. Matter of fact, it looks like crap because it's like a crappy green screen. All she did was throw on a cow suit and make something that was silly. And now she's probably arguably one of the biggest stars in. Actually, she is one of the biggest stars of our time, easily. But that people call it a cheat code, and people are like, "Oh no, she went viral in the moose suit," and it's like, no. What it really comes down to is that she led with her wacky ass personality. She went personality first, and even to this day, the chick just shaved her head and her eyebrows last week, and made a video about it, because that's her aesthetic. That's what she does. She just does weird shit, and she stuck to that. She also makes great music. But you notice that I said that after the fact. I wouldn't be listening to Doja Cat for the most part if it wasn't for all the other stuff that she does that draws interest to her. And that's not because I'm a hater or an old head. It mostly has to do with the fact that in this day and age, it's hard for me to consume everything. So my time is extremely precious now when it comes to what I want to consume in the entertainment industry. Like, if I'm going to consume something, I want to make sure that I consume something that is going to have a lot of value to me, either comedically or makes me think, or I learn something. I look for things with value. I'm not wasting my time consuming most of your guys' art. That's not a knock to anybody out there, but when you guys send me songs, I'm not listening to them. Most of the time. That's not 100% true. But 98% of the time I'm not listening to your songs because I don't know who you are. I don't know what your story is. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what your motivations are. You're just making music. And everybody makes music now. Like I said, time and time again, in almost every single one of these videos I make, there are 60,000 songs plus dropping on Spotify every single day. And so it's not necessarily about your music, because I'm sure that your song is great. The technology is out there to create great music very easily. I can make a fire-ass beat and record it and put it out right now in the next 24 hours. I could not do that 10 years ago. Just couldn't. But now you can. Now it's very easy to do. And so as that bar gets lower and lower and lower, it gets less about your songs, it gets less about your art, and it gets more about your personality and your story and what you fight for and what your goals are. And these are the things that really separate the greats from the non-greats, in my opinion. Like, if your story is clear and your heart is pure and you're leading with your personality, you'll be successful. And if you break this down in a local scene or like even just Arizona, the more successful artists have very clear stories or very clear aesthetics and very clear convictions in their shit. I say Megaran, you know what to expect from him. I say Futuristic, you know what to expect from them, right? Because they have very clear convictions in their art. And those convictions translate into connecting with your fans. So back to the Trump thing. If Trump were to drop an album right now, it's going multi-platinum. It doesn't even matter if the album, it could be him farting over Hit Boy beats, and it would go platinum. Because of the fact that he has established a presence. He's established a story. We know this guy was the president of the United States, right? He just got raided by the FBI, right? This is pure rap shit. Man is out here living the rap life. If he were to drop right now, it would go crazy. And especially people just checking it out of curiosity. Because he has that much purchase in society. And so I'm not saying that you guys should go out here and start being Donald Trump, because that's silly and stupid. But what I am saying is that when you're out there trying to market yourself and put yourself out there, lead with your personality. Lead with your heart. Lead with what your intentions are and your goals are. Don't try to mask your story and make people look for you. Because nowadays, I can get a story anywhere. It's 2 clicks away. I can hop on TikTok and scroll up, and I will find somebody on there that will satiate those dopamine hits. It's a really shitty situation. I'm not happy about the state of artistry in 2022. But as a man of logic and a man who moves in a certain way, I always try to look for the patterns, and I always try to get ahead of them. And what we're going to wind up running into, like right now, we're in the middle of content culture 100%. Go ahead and make your 100 videos a day or whatever the hell you got to do. We're right smack dab in the middle of it. But there's going to be a breaking point. There's going to be a homogenized saturation point where everything is just kind of the same thing. And you're kind of seeing this on YouTube right now, because what's happening on YouTube right now is that everybody wants to be Mr. Beast. And everybody wants to be Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast has got 100 million fucking subscribers. So of course everybody wants to be Mr. Beast. So now when you hop on YouTube and you follow these influencers or creators, they all have the same type of tone, like the yelling at the beginning and the titles and all this stuff. That's the homogenization, because someone wrote the blueprint, now everybody's following it. Me personally, I like to write blueprints and try to establish new paths and new chances to do things in new ways. And so what I'm seeing is that we are going to see a shift in content culture. Probably not for a while. I'd say give it a couple years. But we will see a massive shift in content culture where it will no longer be about how many videos you put out or what your numbers are, but rather the quality of the story, the quality of the person putting out the content. A prime example I could think of who will probably be the person who will help this shift will be Rihanna. Because Rihanna has been through so much in the last 6 years since her album dropped. If she decides to put out another album, it will be an extremely interesting thing. And when I say extremely interesting, that's kind of it. When I think about Beyonce's album, I didn't think her album was interesting, because Beyonce has been... I gotta be careful about this because I don't want the Bay Hive to attack me, but I feel like Beyonce has been somewhat stagnant sonically and creatively and visually, aesthetically, since she dropped Lemonade. On Lemonade, she pushed herself to the max of creative capacity, in my opinion. Homegirl dropped a movie that had 14 music videos. It was a whole themed album about her husband cheating on her. In my opinion, Lemonade is her aesthetic and creative peak. And since then, she's been treading water. Now, of course, she's Beyonce, so whatever, right? Her last album just sold 300,000 copies, so she'll be all right. But then I think about Rihanna, right? But Rihanna's been through so much over the last 6 years. She just had a baby. Homegirl became a billionaire. Fashion line, all kinds of stuff. She has a lot of story to tell. And the same thing applies to like someone like Kendrick Lamar, right? Who disappeared for 5 years and then all of a sudden he popped out with a story to tell. He had a really deep story to tell y'all. That basically he was cheating, philandering, doing all kinds of stuff. And that story resonates. If Kendrick was dropping every year, he would have a hard time maintaining that story. Because it's exhausting. It drains you. Making all this content all the time will drain you. It takes up a lot of your time to do the stuff that you really want to do. Right? So if you're going to be out there worrying about content creation, you have to find a way to make it in a way that is going to be genuine and fun to you. And you're not just burning yourself out trying to make cool TikToks for the sake of the numbers. That's part of the reason why I even started this this cast. Because I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily want to do the motivation thing. I do want to do news, but I want to do it in a way that's like super genuine to me. And I don't mind doing. And I don't mind getting up at 8 o'clock every morning and start talking to y'all for 20 minutes. I think that's a good thing. And when I record this, I can chop this up into content and I'm kind of solving my problem, right? But I also know that I'm all about leading with personality first. And so for me, doing all this is just a way for me to exude my personality in other ways. With the whole goal being that you guys understand me completely and that when my art goes out, I don't have to fucking explain shit because my art speaks for itself. So hopefully you heard something in this video that inspires you to do something, maybe see things differently. If not, whatever, that's cool. Like I said, I like talking to y'all and maybe saying something that puts a spark in your head. But thanks for watching the Daily Q. We'll be back because clearly the webcam didn't cut off this time. I'm liking the webcam. I love the fact that I can just go pow like that and be like, ooh. And be like, ooh, yeah, there's a bong over there. Ooh, what's over here? Dang, what's down here? Oh, dang. And I go like that. It stops. It's fire. Love it. Anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching the Daily Q. Make sure you check out the Quasar Cult blog. My wife, Jana Rose, just dropped a fire-ass review for Toby DeGuay's new EP, Moments. So go check that out. I love you all. We'll see you later. Stay crazy, y'all.